It is Tuesday, May 24th in the MLB, and I'm Austin from Calling Our Shot.
And I'm Logan from Calling Our Shot.
And we are back with our best bets. We got our favorite run line. We got our favorite player prop. We got a no-run first inning coming your guys' way.
You guys already know what to do. Mash that subscribe button. We're so close to 3,400 or 34,000. I almost said 3,400. 34,000 subscribers. You guys have been killing it with all the support, all the comments and likes. We really do appreciate it. Also, do drop a like on this video. We're going to get after it today, Austin. We're bringing out the brooms for sure.
I 100% agree. If you want to go drop a subscribe, click that like button. We certainly would appreciate it. Let's do a quick recap. Let's hop into a recap. You know, not our best day. Could have certainly been worse. The Cardinals do clutch up. Obviously, at Cardinals money line, Paul Goldschmidt. Round of applause to him. What a man. We needed that. We needed that grand slam in the bottom of the 10th to win by 4 runs. So if you had the Cardinals run line, he cashed you out. If you had the under, I'm sorry for you. We had the Brubaker ladder, and it's only right that he ends on the hook. He's a pirate. They have the hooks. Of course, he's going to end on the hook. Not much we can do about that. I saw a lot of people commented about the Brubaker play, and I have to say, Brubaker went 6 2/3 innings pitched, allowed no runs. He had 0 earned runs. He did give up 1 run, but it was on an error. It wasn't necessarily his fault. And I think 6.2 innings pitched, the farthest he's ever gone. I think 1 start he's ever gone 7 innings pitched. He only had 4 strikeouts. The man had a lot of 2-strike counts. Rockies were fine hitting some soft contact. I'm fine with that Brubaker ladder. What I wasn't fine with was watching the home run derby in the Royals Diamondbacks game. Not sure what that was, but hey, we're gonna wave the flags today. We appreciate you guys as always for supporting us. If you want to join, become an all-star, we certainly appreciate all our all-stars out there. Just click the join button on the channel, click the link in the description. We'd appreciate it. We'll shout you out in tomorrow's video, and you get the plays early. A reminder: Parlay of the Day will be live a little bit later this morning on Odds Jam. Definitely go check it out. And of course, we're on Chalkboard. If you want to join our chalkboard, click the top link in the description. But Logan, without further ado, great call on the Cardinals yesterday. Throwing it to you. First pick of the day. Let's get it rolling.
I needed that Cardinals win in the worst way. Shout out Paul Goldschmidt. What a game. It was electric. I watched the highlights if you weren't watching the game. But we're going to the Battle of the Sunshine State in this one. I'm taking the Rays run line, so -0.5 in the first 5 innings of this one versus the Marlins at +100 odds currently on BetMGM. I mean, I like the value for this one. Honestly, when you're picking run lines, especially in the first 5, you can say, am I trusting them to have one run lead through 5? Yes. The answer is yes today. If you don't trust that, well, then you might go first 5 money line. And if they tie, you get your money back. But the odds were completely, there was a huge disparity. So I'm taking the run line in this one. I think the Rays are going to treat us right today. Who are they facing? Well, each team's trotting out their aces. Pablo Lopez is on the mound for the Marlins, 3-1 and 0 in runs in each of his last 3 starts, coming with a 1.76 ERA on the year. Pablo Lopez, hard to find faults in his game. But in his most recent start, he looked human, right? 3 earned runs and a 2.33 whip in his most recent start versus the Washington Nationals. I'll take the Rays bats any day over the Nationals. And if the Nationals touched them up a little bit, I think the Rays, especially being at home, can certainly get to them. Rays are batting .250 at home during the month of May, which is solid. I mean, it's not 300, but it's solid enough. And my favorite stat, right? 12th in batting average and balls in play. The Rays are one of those teams that I'm telling you, they score in bunches. Before you know it, you look up, you just gave up 4 runs to them. They really like, some solid contact, putting the ball in play. Look, through 5, all I need the Rays bats to do is really get, maybe a leadoff double, a couple base hits, bring in some runs, lead it through 1. And I think they can do it, especially with Shane McClanahan on the mound for the Rays, 1-0 and 2 earned runs in each of his last 3 starts, coming in with a 2.33 ERA. McClanahan really solid on the year, coming in with a 0.96 whip at home this season. So an under 1 walks and hits per inning pitched, ratio this year at home. That's what I love. That's what I love to see. And the Marlins have been bad versus left-handed pitchers, right? Only batting .208 versus lefties this year is Miami. So there's definitely concern there on the Marlins half. Miami is also 29th in runners left in scoring position per game. So they're second to last in terms of, leaving those base runners on, and it's second, third base. I'm telling you guys, that's infuriating, especially when you're betting baseball. I hate seeing runners left, stranded in scoring position, because it's like, oh, come on, we got to be better. But, Miami relies a lot on putting the ball in play. They're 5th best in the MLB on batting average and balls in play. So they are good in that category. But Shane McClanahan is a strikeout specialist. I promise you guys, he is really good at missing bats. He's really good at, making the batters look silly. And I'm telling you, when you're a team that relies a lot on hits and putting the ball in play, McClanahan's not the pitcher you want. Go look at his K line; it's like 7.5 right now when we're recording this. So they're expecting big things from McClanahan, and I'm expecting big things from the Rays through 5 innings. I don't want to touch the bullpens, so I'm taking them plus 100 here. I really do like the value in the Battle of the Sunshine State. But Austin, got a player prop, and everyone has to know who this guy is, right?
Absolutely. They better know who this guy is. I do want to make a PSA. If you are not doing so hot in the MLB, we're up about 10 units on the year. I would say probably dial back your plays. I mean, there's 2,430 games in the MLB season. And that doesn't even include the playoffs. So dial it back. No need to force a ton of plays. People keep asking us for more plays, but I promise you, the more plays we force, probably the more losses we're going to take. It's just you can't find that many edges on a slate. Maybe in the future we start to give you guys 2-player prop leans or something like that. But today there's only one, and we're going to a man that everyone must know. His name is Mike Trout. Taking us over 1.5 bases plus 110 on DraftKings. Now, I forgot to pull up odds jam for Logan's pick, but this is the Rays. We got minus 0.5 plus 100 on BetMGM, and then we're going to Trout. We got plus 110 on DraftKings. Now, in my opinion, I would never bet a total bases prop on FanDuel unless you absolutely have to. Because FanDuel, as we know, they're going to grade it as a win or a loss if Mike Trout doesn't play and somehow comes up at the end of the game. Because that's exactly what happened with Trout the last time we took his prop. He didn't play that game, but he did end up pinch hitting, didn't get a hit. I think he walked in his one at bat, and FanDuel graded it as a loss. So not only does FanDuel have the worst odds, it also has that caveat. Because if he comes out, Mike Trout doesn't play today, doesn't start, DraftKings will void our bet. But let's talk about Trout while we like him. I think he's playing today. Now, Trout batting .323 on the year, 12 home runs, 12 doubles, 1 triple. I list all those extra doubles and triple stats because obviously Trout only needs 1 hit today if he can make it a double, triple, or home run. And I think he can do that. Now, what do I love about Trout? The man's consistent. I mean, he rarely goes into slumps. He's in the month of May batting .324. Look, .324 in the month of May, .323 on the season. This is what Trout does. Now, what I even better, Trout and the Angels are back at home. He's batting .377 at home compared to just .266 on the road. So obviously, they're back at home. We're going to like him. He's got some home cooking, and he should be able to hit this line pretty easily. Now, Trout is over this line in 4 of his last 5 home games. And like I said, one of the games technically in there, he did not start. And so I'm not going to count that because DraftKings wouldn't count that either, regardless of how Trout does. Now, he is tanking on the Rangers, a team he's played pretty well against in his whole career, batting .333 against them. And this year, he's even up that ante. He's hitting .357 versus the Texas Rangers. This year, he has 22 bases and 28 total at-bats, hitting the over in 5 of 7 games. Is worth noting. All of those have came on the road. So just imagine what Trout could do at home. And that's what I'm hoping he gets in the groove today because he's going up against Dane Dunning. 2 of the games that they played, of the 7 that he plays against the Rangers, were against Dane Dunning. He had a home run in each of those games, seeing the ball pretty well against him. And honestly, Dane Dunning is just due a bad game. If you look at a strikeout prop, and I'll talk about it in a second, I don't know. If you look at this line, you're looking at Noah Syndergaard on the mound for the Angels. He just got roughed up by the Rangers. And then they're getting given like a minus 170 favorite. I think they're pretty much saying Syndergaard's going to pitch pretty well, and I think Dane Dunning gets hit up. I mean, his strikeout prop is 4.5. It's one of the ones I considered taking the under on, as well as Trey Mancini's over 0.5 singles. I think they're telling us that Dane Dunning is just not going to get that line. I think he's going to struggle today. The Angels bats normally are awake at home, including Trout, and Ohtani has notoriously struggled versus Dunning, but I think he steps up today. But I really like Mike Trout. I think he's going to get it done. A little plus value, plus 110. I can deal with that. 2 singles, a double, a triple, a home run, whatever you want to do, Mike Trout. I'm all for it. What I don't want to see is a lot of walks, which he has not walked in his career versus Dane Dunning, but obviously Mike Trout, one of the best guys at drawing walks. His on-base percentage is over 400 for a reason. This is what he does. But that's my player prop of the day. Mike Trout, over 1.5 bases. Let's ride with him. Now, Logan, bring it out. Bring out the NRFI Nation flags. These flags have been at half staff for a couple days. It's been a brutal stretch. But you know what? We're NRFI Nation. We're not going to stop anytime soon. And we're going with one that's going to be a little bit interesting. We're going Cubs versus Reds, particularly no run first inning, minus 108 on FanDuel. Now I pull up, and FanDuel's actually got weird odds for this one. Maybe, it's weird. I mean, we see minus 108 on FanDuel. We see plus 107 on Barstool. We see minus 140 on DraftKings. The odds are all over the place on this one. Sharper books do have it at minus 112. So a little bit of small plus EV bet. Now, why do we like this one, Logan? Well, we got Tyler Mahle on the mound for the Reds. 5.23 ERA, 1.35 whip, 20 walks, and 32 innings pitched. Look, He's not the best, but he's not going to win a Cy Young award. Sorry, that's not what you're going to get. If you want to take a Cy Young one, go to the Corbin Burns, Blake Snell, and enjoy Blake Snell probably selling that one. We're not doing that. We're not going to pick one that's like minus 170. We think there's value on this minus 108 because Tyler Mahle, despite that 5.23 ERA, actually only has a 2 ERA in the first inning. He's currently 6-2 to the NRFI. He's been pitching pretty well for him. And we look at yesterday in a game in which, they scored 11 runs. They said we're scoreless through 3 innings, and Logan can touch on that in a second. But Cubs, they're third in first inning runs. Sure, that's high, but a couple series against the Pirates will certainly help you. Now, I'd argue probably a couple series against the Reds might help you too. But Tyler Mahle is one of their better pitchers, and I think he can get it done for us on the top half of the inning. What about the bottom half, Logan?
Right. It's scheduled to be Stroman. We already did cash a NRFI with Marcus Stroman on the mound. Stroman on the year, 4.88 ERA, a little bit high for me, but 1.15 whip, which is pretty solid. Only 7 walks and 31 1/3 innings pitched. I don't want a ton of walks, in this first inning, but I think Stroman will be solid. Stroman 5-1 to the no-run first inning, so he's only given up a first inning run so far in 1 game pitched. Reds 18th in first inning runs. Their offense is usually slow starting. They were scoreless through 3 innings yesterday, despite them scoring a ton of runs yesterday. It comes a lot in the bullpen. Like, don't let the box score deceive you. So in the starting pitching, I really do like our chances on this one. Another one, we can talk about other ones that Austin and I were kind of looking at and considering. Consider the battle of the Sox, right? Red Sox versus White Sox. That was an interesting one. Cease from Pavetta. I think that one has a decent chance as well. Austin mentioned, though, the whole narrative here, don't pick a juiced one, really. Like, you see 2 aces like Snell and Burns on the mound. Don't let the books get you out of minus 150, minus 160. Go value hunting. There are a few on the slate that might be in the 110, minus 120 range. That's what we're really comfortable with, NRFI Nation. And yesterday left a really bad taste in my mouth. Today is the ultimate bounce back NRFI because, oh my gosh, yesterday might have been our worst no-run first inning pick of the year. That's just how it be. But yeah, we're getting after it.
I mean, there were 5 home runs. Not much you can bet that. We did speak about Zach Greinke pitching to contact, and boy, did he do plenty of that yesterday. And Zach Davies as well. The battle of the Zachs was just a home run derby. Whatever, we can move on. It's just 1 loss. We're going to keep getting after it. Cubs, Reds, their no-run first inning play of the day. Mike Trout over 1.5 bases, and the Rays first 5 run line. Hopefully, we can go bring out the brooms. It's been a minute since we saw the 3-0 brooms. A lot of 2-1 and 1-2 days going on. But today feels like a good day. 3-0, our parlay of the day live on OddsJam. Check that out. We appreciate you guys as always. We'll see you on the chalkboard, and we'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace out.